I mean, it's a lot on a woman, and then you have to try to figure out how to get your life on track.
Yeah.
And then even nobody want to be alone. If you decide to get a man again, you like, you see all this I got. Can you handle it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if man gets you, you got 3 babies. Yep. Now you're in the shelter with the babies. Mm-hmm. How did you get out of there?
I started. I found child care for my children.
Okay.
And I started to get back to work. I actually ended up becoming a counter manager for Clinique at the Sherman Oaks Galleria. Is it Sherman Oaks Galleria? It's the Sherman Oaks Mall right there off of Riverside Drive, right off the freeway.
Well, you got some skills. Any woman that got these skills and they can do makeup and all of that, and if they do it good, because a lot of women can't do their makeup too good. Right. If you do it good and stuff like that, it seems like you should always be able to. I'm just saying, I don't really know, but it seemed like it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people have skills, but they don't put them to work.
That's a shame.
They don't put them skills to work. God give them a gift, you know what I'm saying? And then they don't use it. And when you don't use it, God will just take it and give it to somebody else if you don't use it.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to use every one of them he give me. I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm podcasting. That's just another gift. Thank you, Jesus. Now, look here. You see me, don't book?
Yeah.
You see me, brother?
Yes, sir.
I'm doing it right?
Doing it good.
I'm trying to sit up tall and do it like you're supposed to, I fall off a little bit, but I have to get back up, You start working. Mm-hmm. You got child care for the kids, which is good. That's good. So did you ever get your own place?
Yeah, I ended up getting so I moved into LA Family Housing April of 2015, 14. Oh my God, I don't remember. Well, I arrived into LA Family Housing, it was 2015, or maybe it was 14. I don't remember.
Well, no, that's okay.
But nevertheless, and I received my voucher in August, and so a Section 8 voucher.
Whoa, you should have kept that.
I did keep it. I did utilize it.
Okay.
So, but we kept getting discriminated against in the Valley. They were like, "Oh, the place is on the 2nd floor. You have children. We cannot take the babies."
Well, why didn't you go somewhere else, like Los Angeles? You didn't want to come to the hood, huh?
So,
where everybody would accept you. You wanted to stay where people didn't accept you. And we go down here, want to give you all the help in the world, and you didn't want to come. But then when they didn't, that didn't work out, then you had to come.
Yeah, I was on my final extension to find a place.
Exactly.
Like 5 days right before my
Didn't you want to come
extension.
and rush people like me? I got 5 days. Can you sign the paper?
I met a landlord. He had just finished a brand new place in South Central, right here off of 77th and Hoover. And I showed him proof of me working and showed him the voucher, and he showed me the place, and that was it. You was okay. It was history just like that.
Well, see, sometimes you got to go ahead and accept certain things, and then once you in, you might have to deal with that for a year, and then you can still eventually look for something else. But thank God that he signed that paper.
Mm-hmm. But I had no clue or idea. There was no warning or anything about living in South Central.
Well, let me say this. You didn't move to the nicest street in South Central.
No, I didn't.
You moved on 77th and Hoover.
Yeah.
And I ain't just trying to knock Hoover, but that is not the nicest area.
I lost friends. Friends stopped coming to my house. Nobody would come over or anything. They were like, "You live where?" We're not coming over.
If I was a man, I wouldn't want to come either.
Yeah, those stopped coming too.
Because see, when you waited to the very last minute and then you had to accept what was there instead of saying, let me come, because there's a lot of places in Los Angeles that's great.
Well, I didn't wait till the very last minute. I was a full-time working mom. I managed $1 million counter at, in Sherman Oaks. And mind you, I was working so much that sometimes, especially during the holidays, I would get off at like 2 a.m., go pick up my babies, and the babysitter's like, "You might as well leave them here because you're going to be back in a few hours." Yeah, I was working so much to the point where my children lived at the babysitters. because I wouldn't get off, and I wouldn't get to her until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, I got to be back at work at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's only a few hours between me taking him back to the house, laying down for an hour and some change, and then getting back up and dropping him right back off. So I was extremely busy. We were lacking management, and I had to run a whole team, and this is Sherman Oaks. We got high-end clientele coming. I saw a lot of actors. There was your Justin Biebers that came through. There was Master P that was always coming through, and Dwayne Martin, and you know what I'm saying? These are people that shopped in the same store. I had a celebrity clientele, so I had to be on my P's and Q's, make sure that all my I's are dotted and all my T's are crossed, so it's not that I waited till the last minute. Every day that I was off, I would go and tap into something, and I would get a no, and then I would have to find something else, but of course I'm a single mom.
How long
I'm
did
exhausted.
You stay? How long did you stay on 77?
I stayed on 77th. I moved on 77th in 2015 for sure. And I stayed there until 2017 because I had ran into some not so good people, and I was not aware about, I had no knowledge about gang members and territory and stuff like that. And unfortunately I got entangled with the wrong people, and I literally had to leave California and moved to Louisiana. I had to move to a whole nother state I'm talking about threats in my messenger and people calling my job.
What did you get entangled in?
Hanging out with the wrong crowd.
No, what did you get entangled in? I didn't ask you who you hung with. What was the entanglement?
Drugs.
There you go.
Drugs.
Talk to me.
Postpartum depression and drugs.
What is
postpartum depression is real. It's real.
Oh, you got postpartum depression.
I ended up with it really bad.
Right. Okay.
I had a girlfriend take her life.
I'm slow. I was finna say, did you anything ever meant you? Because I'm like all of this. You ain't had no mental crashes or nothing.
Yeah, but I did.
So when these Hoovers, I don't know if they was Hoovers or not. When these gang people and you got involved in this drug system, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I was introduced to drugs in a real pretty way.
How was that?
He's like, how do you get into drugs?
How you get... Buddha, wake up. How you get introduced to drugs in a pretty way?
So, I'm this single working mom. I got a lot going on, And so I was introduced to it from some friends of mine. It was like, oh my God, have you heard of the suburban mom parties? And I said, no, what is that? And they said, that's when all the suburban moms get together and they get high. They smoke meth. And it was like, that's how they're able to accomplish taking care of the kids, taking care of the housework, doing the errands, cooking, the cleaning, taking care of their husband, and going to all the PTA meetings. That's what they were doing. They were supposed to be getting together and getting high, and then they'll leave and do what they needed to do for the rest of the day for the family.
Time out. Time the hell out on the Browns Neighborhood Podcast. Now, I am going to say this.
Yeah.
I have heard these, I don't want to call nobody fools, but I done heard people use that, Crystal, because it keep you up, keep you going. But damn that, I don't want to be hooked. I heard, people in the music industry would say some of that kind. But don't they know crystal is dangerous?
I mean, at that time, I wasn't into hardcore drugs, so I didn't do my research. I didn't know.
Look here. Yeah, you was just as green as a green tomato.
I hit it that one time, and I was like, oh my God, like I feel like Superwoman. I can get anything accomplished. Okay, we can do this.
And trust me, you are right.
I felt good about myself. Like that sensual side of me came back out after having 3 babies. Like I felt confident.
What
in my
sensual means? You felt sensual.
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 Yeah.
And when you feel sensual, what do? You
take salacious pictures, salacious photographs.
Hot diggity dog. So when you start feeling, what that was again?
Sensual.
You start feeling sensual.
Yeah.
And you start taking pictures, made you feel sexy as you...
You couldn't tell me I wasn't a Playboy model. You couldn't tell me I wasn't a Playboy BBW. I was...
What's a BBW? Well, I just wanted to tell you what it is. Hold on 1 second. What is a BBW?
A big, beautiful woman.
Oh, Buddha.
Yeah.
Boy, will you get your uncle some books? I gotta read up on this stuff. You know, these BBW and BBLs and you know, these DLs and all this other shit going on down here in the neighborhood. I gotta catch up. Y'all I know I done got older, but damn. Huh, Buddha?
Yeah.
Man, boy, you gotta help your uncle, boy. I don't want you there just working that board. You gotta tell me about stuff going on. So, okay, you felt sensual.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't tell you nothing.
Absolutely not.
Lord have mercy. You go put that makeup on and them eyelashes.
Woo!
And it'd be like a fire.
I mean...
Huh? Lord. I told him I don't need to put these women on here.
You need the after dark for sure. This is the after dark session.
No, yeah. I gotta change the whole sign where it say after dark. Because people get to talking like it's dark. Man, let's get up out of there. So the girls... What they call it, Beverly? What they call them?
BBWs?
No, when the ladies say let's get together.
Oh, like the suburban house party.
Where in the hell these Negroes start talking about suburban house parties down here?
I live in the suburbs. I'm from Rancho Cucamonga, from Fontana, Ontario.
Oh, you went
the
and done it
suburbs.
with the suburb people.
No, I didn't go do it, but the person that had introduced me, that's where they would do it, and so that's why they came to me with the story of why women in the suburbs used it.
Oh.
And yeah, so it came from...
turn on the lights.
Yeah.
You know,
suburban house parties.
Boy, look here. You know what? I'm going to say this. Boy, Shannon, you ain't got nothing on me, boy. Because when you come to the Brown Neighborhood Podcast, you learn a whole lot. Man, Lord, help me, Jesus. Okay. You learn that, you learn the suburban whatever.
Suburban house mom trick. I learned that that's what they're on. That's how they make it happen.
God, that's dangerous though. It's a dangerous thing. Now, ladies, don't y'all go try that.
Not recommended.
It will take you over the cliff. You ever been to the Grand Canyon? You don't want to go over the Grand Canyon cliff. Because see, now you had to go to where you went to Louisiana, where you ran to?
Yeah, I moved to Monroe, Louisiana.
Because, man.
I was getting threats.
Why did they threaten you? You stole some money?
I made some wrong moves around the wrong people. In need of money.
Wrong moves, money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, drugs and money will get your ass in trouble.
Yeah, real ass trouble.
Real trouble.
With some real people in the street that make some real stuff, make people disappear and shit.
Yes, and so you was gone.
I'm out of here.
No, that was smart. Because some of these fools will go on the next block. You know, they gonna be hiding. They gonna hide. They gonna just go from Florence to Imperial or something, like they ain't gonna see them or something. You did the right thing.
Yeah.
Get the hell up out of here, because these people, it's dangerous, I'm telling you. Yes, it is. So how long did you stay down there in Monroe?
I stayed in Monroe for almost a month.
But you done messed me up again. I gotta, where's the kids?
So they are back on 77th with my mom.
So
and
you had to let moms keep the kids.
Yeah, I had to let her know what was going on.
Yeah. No,
and
that
actually,
was
they ended up having to find hiding as well. Yeah.
I don't want to ask you how much dope did you mess up.
Not that much. It was a real small amount.
And they was gonna go that far?
Absolutely. Even with it being paid off, and because then it wasn't even about what I took and me giving it back or whatever, or in paying for the damn. It was about principle. They were standing on principle at that point.
Is that what they do? Standing on principle?
It's the principle of the whole situation,
Man, look here. Wow. Boy, this is, man, only down here in the neighborhood, I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. So you gotta, LA is one big neighborhood, and they just got a lot of clusters. So you gotta be careful what cluster of neighborhood you go in.
Man.
And
say that again.
Man, I'm telling you.
Man.
They didn't care how good you look. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. So I don't even want to go there. Evidently she was using that dope, that crystal. Got some of it, didn't pay for it, And when you don't pay the man, now you work for me. That's some of them did. I don't know what happened to her.
Well, it was supposed to be a business arrangement. I was supposed to, I'm going to do this and you're going to pay me this because I have children to take care of and I need some money, to pay my bills. And when the follow through didn't happen on their part, I was like, well, I need to take some. So I go make this money since you're not willing to give it to me voluntarily, then I'll get it involuntarily. That was my thinking at the time because my part's already done. So where are you at?
Well, you know how these women go to thinking.
I mean, that's
the
truth.
Women thinking.
Women be thinking they voluntarily or involuntarily.
They is smart, but sometimes they can do some dumb shit. See, we dumb in a different way. Men, women is dumb in their own womanly way. I don't want to say that women be mad at me. I'm going to take that out of here.
Yeah, you might want to.
Yeah, take that part out. But women, they think they always right. But in that line of work that she was dealing with, she was over there talking to the camera. I don't know what she said to it. But whatever it is, it's that mic going to pick it up. You could be whispering this low. That mic will pick it up. So whatever she said, I'll go get it. So you went down in Louisiana, and now you stay down there. You was already depressed. What you call it?
Postpartum depression.
Postpartum depression. Mm-hmm. Did you get some medication for it?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Do they have medication for it?
Yeah, antidepressants.
But you didn't want it.
I didn't realize that that's what I was going through at the time.
Okay, talk to me.
It's a hindsight being 2020 type of evaluation, that let me see where I was at that time while I was behaving the way that I was behaving.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
But I actually ended up getting introduced to after hours and late night clubbing, and that's what really got me off track. And that's what really got me into the drugs.
Now, wait a minute. Let's get deep. We finna go down into the abyss.
After hours.
So say that one more time.
I was introduced to the after hour lifestyle.
Can you give me a glimpse of that?
After hours, the club doesn't open until 3
a.m.
a.m.
Shit, I'm sleep, snoring, and everything else at 3 a.m. What they doing at 3 a.m.?
What they say, the only thing that's open at after midnight is the liquor store and legs.
Lord have mercy. Boy, look here. Liquor store and legs. Is the only thing.
That's a saying. That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
So
No.
Just leave it at that. But it was the only place. It's 3 a.m. They're still serving liquor. You're able to do your DOC or your drug of choice. Just
what's DOC? Oh,
DOC,
drug of choice. Okay.
And because I was a beautiful woman, I didn't have to pay for anything. It was just handed to me. Come sit in VIP, okay? Want something to drink? You want some of this? You want lime? You want
See, women, when you're real beautiful, it can be a dangerous thing.
Absolutely.
Because the men want to give you everything you want, and that is not always good. Remember that. You're beautiful. You want to use it for buy me drinks and all those other things. It don't always turn out to be good because you overdoing it. So now you down there in the after hour, right? Now you able to get the drink you want, the drug you want, and now you get hooked. So your turnout first is fun, feel good. But now it's like anything else, you get hooked.
Then it got dangerous because I wasn't, let's just get her high and she's gonna sleep with anyone or do anything. I've had people try to secretly drug me up or put something on the tray that's not what it was originally. Like I've had guys try to really do some things in thinking, she's gonna sleep with me because I got her high and she's gonna be. No, actually, when I was high, I had the most God consciousness because the word says praise God in everything that you do. And that meant including me getting high because I need him more so than ever at that point in my life.
You sure talking good today.
So, no, seriously.
No,
so while I was high, I really stayed tapped in to God. And so, yeah, I'm high and yeah, I'm hanging out and I'm doing but you're not about to have your way with me just because you gave me
the Lord
substance.
say acknowledge me in all your ways. So that don't mean whatever way it is. That good, bad, or ugly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I did just that.
Well, he covered you.
Absolutely.
But you're still here, because things could have went really, really bad. Mm-hmm. So how did you get out of that? How did you stop going to that after hour joint?
When things just got bad and I felt like I couldn't be seen in the community, with that particular situation happening with me wronging somebody. And I just went on the deep end too with the drugs.
You did?
I did. It got really bad and it was time for me to leave.
What drug was you using?
Crystal, ecstasy, cocaine.
Is that right? They look at you now, they'll be like, man, she pretty. She did all of that. Mm-hmm. Look
Molly.
at that.
Molly.
What is Molly?
MDMA.
What in the hell is MDMA?
MDMA.
EDMA?
MDMA. MDMA.
What the hell is that?
It's this drug called Molly.
Drug called Molly.
Yeah.
It's the pill?
We used to hang out with all the white girls on the weekend. The Molly, the Crystal, also known as Christina, and then the white girl, the cocaine. We hang.
God damn, boy, you sharp as a knife. Look at Buddha. Shit, she finna start hosting in a minute because I don't know nothing. Dog, I'm like, I feel like I'm in class. But, all these different terminologies. And people just don't understand all of this stuff is existing. God sure did save you.
Yeah, he did. We haven't even gotten to the good part.
We haven't?
We haven't even gotten to the
My Lord Jesus Christ.
You just on the little collard greens and cornbread. We ain't got to them ham hocks yet, them neck bones. Boy,
look at it. Hold up. Buddha, go change the sign to after dark, okay? Because we need help. You feel me? So you make me feel like I just took a strong drink. Buddha, I'm up there over there, like I just took a shot. You did all of that. Mm-hmm. You strong, because the average person can't handle all that. And see, when you're a woman, the men gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
When you was doing all that, you couldn't have been as voluptuous as you is now. You had to lose weight or something.
Man, I was too skinny. I didn't like it. It was not a good look. I looked down and be like, what's going on with my clothes? My clothes don't look right.
No, for real. So you were small.
I was. I wasn't that small. Like the smallest I got was like a size 9. I'm a big girl. Like I always been a thick girl. Like,
but when you was a bigger woman and then you go down to 9, You
like
don't
11,
look
12,
too good.
9. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
No, actually, I look good. That's actually a healthy weight for me.
9 was?
It's like a size 9, 11, 12. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a healthy weight. So all of that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get some help?
So while I was in Louisiana, I actually experienced, I actually ended up getting sexually assaulted.
How did that happen?
And with a hotel full of men.
How did you get, them Louisiana niggas crazy. You know how they are.
So I was there with a friend, and
were y'all doing drugs?
I was, but I become close to my friend's family member, and we would hang out and have a good time, And so I had got a room for myself at a Motel 6.
Was he a guy?
Yes, he was a guy. And he had asked me if I could have a young lady come stay in the room with me because she needed a place to go or whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine, whatever. I'm not going to let another young woman be out on the street if I have the ability to provide, share my space. Okay. And so did that. And, her and I, we just sat there and we got high. And then I noticed she started recording me. And then
recording you picture-wise?
Yeah,
like video?
Picture-wise and stuff like that. And the next thing you know, the guy comes to my room, and not only does he come in, him and several men come in.
So she set you up.
I feel like it. And not only did several men come in, several men got on the bed that I was in, and several men sat around the room with cameras out.
Is that right?
Yeah. To the point where when I was in the hospital, I could hear the video playing on YouTube of what had just happened to me. And
were you being raped?
I was being sexually assaulted.
I don't know the right section. So
yeah.
You was being sexually assaulted and they recording it.
Yes.
They crazy, ain't they? Who want to record themselves raping somebody?
Apparently that was like the big thing at that time is for a bunch of men to record a woman at her most vulnerable state. That was something that they got a kick out of.
And so once that was over,
I ended up finding an emergency shelter and
out there,
a woman's shelter. I got tested and was put on drugs to prevent certain illnesses and stuff to happen. And I sat down and spoke with the social worker. She said, "Where do you want to go?" I said, "All I want to do is go back to Florida and make it to my women's conference. There's a women's conference coming up." And that woman took out her wallet and she bought me a bus ticket to Florida so I can get back to Florida to get back to the women's conference and my friends and family, my church friends and family.
But you was already doing drugs.
But I had to get sober because I originally moved to Monroe to get my life together for my children.
But
tragedy happened, but tragedy ended up turning into a good thing because I ended up going back to Florida sober. I had a big wake up call. God shut all that down real quick. And so I ended up moving back in with Mika, the young lady that I lived with.
The bodybuilder?
Yes. And I started doing drugs again in Florida.
Okay, hold on now.
Yeah.
You moved back in with Mika.
Mm-hmm.
You started doing drugs at Mika's house.
Yeah.
Did Mika do drugs?
No.
You sneaking?
She was a businesswoman, clean, sober, woman of God.
You were sneaking, or did she know you was doing it?
She could tell, and I admitted to her.
What drug were you doing then?
Crystal, still.
That damn crystal is all over the place.
Absolutely. No matter what state you go to, it's there, ready and available. When I was in Houston, when I was in Salt Lake City, when I'm in Florida,
so crystal just
Monroe,
took
Louisiana.
over. Cocaine ain't got a chance.
Sacramento, didn't matter. It's there.
So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you smoke crystal, what kind of high is that?
First of all, you become extremely awake and alert. Sometimes for me, it helped me concentrate. Like if there were things that I couldn't figure out, it gave me the ability to focus and get answers that I'd been looking for that I could not get not being high. It just tapped into a whole different side of your brain.
You know what it reminds me?
It opened you up artistically and everything.
You know what it sounds like? Have you ever seen this movie? When that man took this pill, everything just, y'all timeless, endless. But y'all ain't never seen that movie?
Not The Matrix.
No, not The Matrix. It was like a drug. He take that pill and his mind just, he was a writer. He could write, clean up his house. Everything was just the same shit that you saying it made you do. That's what it makes it sound like.
Exactly, that's exactly what it does.
Everything
Crystal used to be speed. Back in the day, they used to call it speed. Same thing. It'll crank you up, get you through the day, working 3 days straight.
Well, they should have stayed on speed instead of this crystal.
Same thing. It's a different name.
I don't know, Buddha. So it just made you highly alert.
And then it gives you social confidence. So if you're shy and you don't like to be around people, it gets you comfortable so you can open up to people and you're not so shy and standoffish. And once again, it helped me tap into my sensual side. So whenever I would come out as this beautiful, sensual woman, this voluptuous woman with all this confidence that I did not have just being sober, after going through what I went through with my kids. And, like I said, I've always been a plus size woman. I've had men look at me and tell me, like, no one's going to want you looking like that and stuff like that. And so
until you do that, you get.
But that crystal was making me lose weight. So, and then I was nursing. So I'm having this slim stomach and I'm still like, heavy on top. And so it was working. It was, yeah.
You thought it was working in your favor.
I thought it was working in my favor. Yes. Because I felt better than ever. And I felt like I looked better than ever. And I was open creatively and consciously to things that I hadn't been open to. And I was able to do a lot because of the energy level.
So you went back there and you got back on crystal.
Yeah.
How long did you stay in Florida then?
I didn't stay there long. Me and Mika actually had a fight that we have still to this day have yet to sit down and talk. Because I really love her. I say she was my guardian angel that was sent.
Yeah, she helped you.
She blessed me. She beyond helped me. She blessed me. That woman blessed me.
But that crystal is just that powerful.
Yeah. And we ended up getting to the worst fight ever.
I mean, hands?
Yeah, it got physical.
In her house.
Mm-hmm. But lucky for me, I was a great businesswoman. And so some coworkers that I worked for at AT&T had a house in a town right next door to Pensacola called Pace, and they invited me to come stay with them. And so I was staying with them right after I went through what I went through with Mika. And actually right before Mika and I fell out, I did a bodybuilding competition.
Who did a bodybuilding?
I did with Mika. I did makeup for a bodybuilding competition, but instead of making enough money
you gave it to Mika.
To cover my expenses and to profit, I didn't. I just broke even. Everything I invested is what I made back. I didn't make extra money because I knew that I needed to go home to go be with my kids because my mom was calling me. And I was like, okay, I'm coming out there. I'm gonna be on my way. So I have my bus ticket. I'm shopping for the kids, getting them clothes, getting ready to come home, and my mom calls me on a Friday. I was scheduled to hit the bus on Sunday, and she calls me that Friday and tells me that my twins fell out of the window out of our 2-story apartment.
God, they survived.
They survived, but I was not present.
So they took the kids from mom.
They took the kids. Matter of fact, they were still with mom, and then once I was on the bus, they were checking to see where I was, how close I was. And when I finally arrived back to California, that same day they went to the daycare and picked up my kids. And they took them away. And the charge was lack of constant communication with caregiver while out of town working. That was my charge in children's court. Lack of constant communication with caregiver while out of town working. Mind you, I had cell phone bills to prove that I had constant communication.
Right.
But I went through court. They, this new social worker took over my case and they ended up taking my kids away from me permanently. They said it was a failure to protect. They tried to say that my stepfather was molesting my children, but after a forensic exam, forensic interviews, there was no findings, and they still took my kids away with no findings and no evidence on a failure to protect. This man didn't go to jail.
Well, sometimes you can do sexual things that you can't, he might have didn't do no penetrating or nothing, but he could have touched them.
He wasn't around.
Oh, he wasn't?
No. And so that was the thing, like he wasn't around like that,
So let me ask you a question.
And that battle had been going on for years, actually.
So now now. You know what I'm saying? Is it a lot more in between there going on?
I've got a full story. I've lived a full life and I'm still living.
Yeah, you still living here because you're sitting at this podcast talking to me.
So it's full. It's full. It's very full. A lot of peaks and a lot of valleys.
Did you ever get a chance to get them back after that?
No. Matter of fact, I was on track to get my kids, and I was in line to get my housing next in Sacramento. And
Why you want it in Sacramento?
I was in a woman's program there called St. John's Program for Real Change. That's where I acquired all of my chef skills.
So you got some chef skills too?
Yep, I would do a lot of public speaking. I would raise a lot of money for the program. I would give tours to prospect donors and stuff like that. I was like their star. The year that I was in that program, I was like the star of the program. I'd sing the Star Spangled Banner for like
So
certain
you got
events.
singing skills too?
I can sing. I was a praise and worship leader for the international
A
ministry.
what leader?
Praise and worship leader.
Oh, I thought you said a prison worship.
No, praise and
Praise
worship
and
leader
worship leader.
for the international ministry that I'm a part of.
So you got some skills. The
Absolutely.
thing is for you, you got to keep your ass on track. And then you got to stay around the right folks.
Yeah.
And don't go into no bad situation. And when things get bad, don't go use no drugs to think it's going to make you feel better.
Well, I know that now. I didn't know that then.
Well, yeah.
You know,
I'm just saying, I mean, you know, some people just soon things get shaky and bad, they just, they going, I'm just going to do a little bit, I ain't going to do much, you know what I'm saying? That's what they mind tell them, you know what I'm saying? You're a very nice looking woman, you're smart, you got talent, you got a few depression problems, but you can seem like that could be managed. Well, if you need medication, take it. Don't go and be like, I don't need it. Sometimes, everybody might be, not everybody, but people take stuff for whatever their problems are. They got hypertension, they got to take some hypertension medicine. If they got whatever problem they might have, until they can cleanse their body where they might not need it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, how some people got a good mind and be like, boy, somebody can use, you ain't using it, let somebody else use it. I mean, sometimes people got talent and they don't want to use their talent, and well, won't you let somebody else use it? I don't know, like you're a chef. You ain't gonna start your own catering business, cook for somebody or something.
Exactly what I do. My family has care homes. They've been in the care home industry for over 30 years. And so I've worked at the homes and cooked and cleaned and administered medication and security and all of that for them. So I do
tell me, when you do have a relapse, what make you relapse?
Depression. Really bad depression. And
what make you depressed?
So both times my big using time frames is when I was after I had kids. And the fact that I felt like,
well, make sure you got a good man the next time you have him, that he's there to be supportive and help you.
And that's the thing, like my husband didn't really know how to be there for me after I had my fourth child. Yeah, the marriage was challenged.
Well, let me ask you a question.
And that was, yeah.
It was challenging. Did he use drugs?
No, but did he support me using? Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
You buy it for you?
I've had him buy it and go get it.
But he didn't use it?
No. And I felt like, as a husband, I felt like he
didn't try to talk you out of it?
He didn't protect me from myself.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Maybe he wanted you to have it because you would act a certain way.
In the bedroom, yes. It would benefit him in the bedroom, for sure. It definitely benefited him in the bedroom. Hands down.
I'm going to go to the herb store or something. Tell them to make an herb concoction. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't going to get as powerful as that crystal. But
no, actually, there's some natural things out there that you don't need crystal to feel the way.
Well, yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah. Oh, crystal is a monster, man.
Yeah.
But so it's all over the United States now.
Absolutely.
It's cheaper than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was, California. And well, I knew it would kind of get his way out of Cali, but well, you know, when you see it was in Florida, I'm like,
let me tell you how much they don't care about it. So there's a time where I was riding in an Uber, and I'm right here off of Manchester. I'd say right close to that Ralph's right there. It's off of Manchester and Western. So we get pulled over by sheriff. Sheriff, yeah.
The Uber man?
Yeah, the Uber. We get pulled over by sheriff. I got paraphernalia in my purse, and I think I had like an axe or something like that. And yeah, because I was by myself as a woman, and I was out.
How big was that? You had a big purse?
Or maybe I had a big Coach purse. Nevertheless, the driver has this big bag of crystal under the seat. The sheriff finds it. He makes us sit on the sidewalk or whatever for a little while, and he was like, "All right, I was just checking for weapons, and let us go." Even with the big ass bag of crystal. Nobody got arrested. He did not confiscate the drugs. He let us right off with it. It was me and 2 other passengers. Yeah, and we were Uber. We're right here on Manchester, right before you get to Western.
Well, you know why he let you go?
And I was in awe.
You want me to tell you why he let you go?
Why is that? Because that
man didn't want to write up all of that. He didn't want to do all that paperwork, then call in the tow truck and do all of that when he know y'all finna get high again. Let me go. I ain't found no guns. Let this one gone. Y'all gone, and he ain't got no paperwork.
And let us go. So if they're not shutting it down, then
no, they ain't trying to shut it down.
It's not gonna get shut down.
You know, if it's a good cop, you would have been shut down. That was a bad one.
Yeah.
You got bad and everything. So, yeah, you got some, you know, you talking about some stuff. And I want to hear it. I want it all. I'm like a computer. Look here. Look booty. I'm going to store it up. You feel what I'm saying? So, after that happened, what happened after that?
God, what part of my life am I in?
Huh?
I said, okay, what part of my life am I in with the story? After I got my kids taken away.
after the kids is taken away, you done made it. You done went to Louisiana, and there was tragedy there. You went to Florida, got yourself back together. Now you're back in California.
Fighting for
when you
kids.
get to California, where do you go?
To my mom's. So my mom, that Section 8 voucher that I had when I moved to Louisiana, I transferred it into her name to ensure that she would always have a place to lay her head regardless of what I had going on.
That's good.
And so she was able to get a house right off of Crenshaw.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And yeah, she got it with the intention on me getting my kids back, but we didn't know that she was going to derail my case. And
so did you start using drugs after that? Or were you finished?
I did. I started using again. Once I found out that I was not going to get my kids back and they took them away and I didn't get a chance to say bye or see them afterwards, after all that I had been through, after all that I had done and sacrifices. Because remember, their dad's not in the picture at all. He's not sending child support. He's not supportive. Right. He's not going to court with me. None of that. So...
Where were you meeting these men at? Yeah, tell the truth. Where you was meeting them?
Different places.
Like where?
The beach, church.
How in the hell you meet a man at the beach? I mean,
Pensacola has beautiful beaches.
Oh, okay.
You're
this is the last child's daddy. How you meet him?
Actually, he was security at LA Family Housing when I was staying there, and he actually walked in my room thinking that my room was vacant and
seen you laying in the bed.
No, he seen me laying in the bed, but I'm not like I got on a robe. Mind you, I just had my 3rd child, so I'm not feeling all like sensual. I got on a little bonnet or whatever, and I come sliding out in these house shoes, trying to figure out who just came into my room, and it was him.
And y'all started
Chris,
talking.
And we started talking, and that was the first time that I conversed. We had like a 9-hour conversation straight, and we did not mention sex not one single time within those 9 hours. And that was a first for me. I'd never spoken to a man for that long and not have sex being brought up as a topic, period.
Right.
That's how much we had to talk about, to the point where that subject was never spoke upon, and that stood out to me.
So
And he was really good. He was very handsome. And I was like, oh my God, he's so fine.
You meeting all these fine soldiers. And so when you're meeting them, are you telling them about your life? Things that you're going through?
Yeah. He actually was by my side when I was in the process of losing my kids. I was at his house, actually, the day that I found out that they were going to take him away. And he was there. Chris, my husband, was there for me. He held my hand. He went to court with me, not the father of my kids.
So Chris's child.
Yes.
Who has Chris' child?
Chris has our daughter.
Okay, now, all right. So Chris done his job.
Yes. He works. He takes care of her while I'm getting myself together.
You think you gonna ever go back to Chris?
Me?
Yeah, you.
No.
You ain't gonna take Chris. Chris ain't gonna. However, that's over.
That's over.
But y'all still friends.
We don't even speak.
What? Why?
Because I had a domestic violent relationship
with him
when I was separated from Chris. Chris thought I had abandoned our family, but I actually gotten kidnapped.
You got kidnapped?
I got kidnapped.
The hell they kidnap you for?
For life insurance policies. Stole all my credentials, opened up life insurance policy.
On you?
With the intent to kill me. Mm-hmm.
Who did that?
Well, he's my ex. I thought he was my boyfriend or my partner at the time.
Which one is this one?
This is after Chris and I, because Chris and I ended up separating because things were not going well in our marriage.
So you Chris gone. Now you meet a new man.
I actually met the man while I was still with
Chris.
My husband. Yeah.
How you meet him and you got Chris?
I met him through a girlfriend of mine.
How do you go and get him and you still got Chris?
Me and Chris were not even talking. I would walk in the room, he'd walk out the room. I'd ask him to sleep in the bed, he wants to sleep in the couch. I got on negligee and lingerie, and he.
Well, Chris had enough. He was mad.
He rather go sit and watch TV. No, he told me I wasn't his type.
But you used to be. But you used to be his type.
Because I was not a Caucasian woman, and I didn't have features like a Caucasian woman down below. He was not interested in me. This is coming from his mouth.
Wait, what features do a Caucasian woman got down below?
Well, I mean, let's just be honest. My private area is not going to resemble hers because, first of all, I have highly melanated skin. So, yes, the parts look the same, but they look different all at the same time. I don't know. I'm not a man. I don't know.
What the hell he tell you?
This would definitely be an after dark conversation because the details that you're wanting to know.
Oh yeah,
the explanation is definitely going to be explained.
We don't want him to shut the podcast down.
Yeah, but because my womanly parts did not identify the same as the Caucasian woman, and he liked the way that white women look down there better than
because they little thin. Well, like you said, we'll go after dark, y'all. Stay tuned.
I was
for after
married,
dark.
and I was pleasuring myself more married than I was single, and I remind him to get me Christmas gifts and take me on dates and to buy me cards, for the holidays. I had when
that just was not working, then you start seeing someone else.
Because I had at that point we had the conversation like, you have this much time to get it together, or I'm going to divorce you because you obviously you're like wasting my time in this marriage. We're not getting anything accomplished. I couldn't even have a conversation.
What did he want you to get together?
What do you mean? What did he want me to get together?
He said if you can get it together.
I told him if he didn't get it together.
Oh, him. Okay.
Based upon how he was treating me.
My bad.
So marriage.
You meet this other guy. Mm-hmm. How you get an insurance policy? He put one on you?
Yes.
Well,
yeah. He ended up taking he ended up.
Well, he know if he did that and then just later you ain't living and he talking about he want the insurance money, they gonna investigate him too? I mean, I would have,
I don't know what he was thinking.
Man, he was thinking crazy. He kidnapped you.
He literally, we had a conversation on the phone. He said, I feel like kidnapping somebody tonight. And I was like, oh, you tripping. Like, whatever. Like, I'm thinking he wants to kidnap me. He wants to like have me all to himself for a weekend or something like that. Like, I'm not thinking in legit kidnapping terms. I'm thinking, oh, you want me to yourself so bad that you want to take me away somewhere.
And how could somebody kidnap you and you they woman?
Well, after I arrived,
Did he tie you up?
After that happened. That did happen. But after I came, he vandalized my car, slashed all 4 of my tires. He took my wallet. He broke my phone. And I was in an area that I was not familiar with, nor was I familiar with public transportation. So I found myself at this man's house, and like I said, he took my wallet, he took my phone, he slashed my tires and broke out my window.
Let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Did that sucker have a mental problem?
Yes, he did.
I figured it out just when you kept talking.
He did. He had a mental problem. He had multiple personalities. His face would morph. I would watch this man, his facial features literally morph into somebody else, and I'm like, oh my God, I've never seen someone's face full on change along with the personality that was being represented at the time. But I was dealing with someone on that level.
You got to make some better choices, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm here because I made better choices. I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you.
Right. No, I mean, choices. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, that one in Florida, that first one, he was crazy. Chris seemed like he pretty good.
Chris was good.
Then that other one seemed like he crazy. I'm like, girl, before you had to hurt somebody, or they gonna hurt you. You done been kidnapped.
I've been sexually assaulted, videotaped, all of that.
And
I've been drugged up. I've been,
And you're 39 years old.
Yes, thank God.
God. It is a such thing as a new beginning.
Absolutely.
But it's going, it's going to take work. You can't just think, well, I've been sober for 7 months. No, it's going to take work.
Absolutely. Once again, I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't put in the work.
Right. So how long have you been clean and sober?
Since August of last year.
August of last year.
So I'm coming up on my 1 year.
Okay. No, you got a little ways to go. You got about August, September, October, November, December, January, February.
April is almost over.
April is almost over. You're getting close. You're getting close.
Yeah.
You're getting close. Like I say, you're a smart woman. You got talent. You just got to stay focused at any means necessary.
You know what gets me off track? What I notice? I'm fine, perfectly fine, thriving, everything, till a man comes into the picture. Because it's usually not the right man. And that's when everything starts to fall apart before me. Everything I work hard for, everything I pray for, everything I sow and fast for just slips right out of my hand. Based upon the people that I allow to be in my life.
Well, I just said that to you. You got to make better choices. I mean, I couldn't have said it more clear than that. Because you just being a woman, you going to have all kinds coming at you.
For sure.
Just looking at your face and your breasts. I'm just telling you how they is.
But I understand what you're saying.
They don't care if you're mentally challenged.
If you have any, they don't.
They gonna just look, ooh, she's cute. She got some hair, you know what I'm saying? She got a little hairdo together. That's what half of them be looking. Oh, her hair look good. She cute. She got on a good looking lipstick. Her makeup, they ain't gonna say makeup, they just gonna say you cute.
Wigs, booties, and lashes. That's all they for. Oh, she got on the lashes, she got the wig on, she got the, but okay, I'll tell you.
Yeah, got you, and then you know how women do, they got their nails done so they know how to, yeah. And that's what it, yeah. And there he go. He
a little razzle dazzle.
Yeah, like a pianist, you know what I'm saying?
Razzle dazzle.
So I'm just telling you, just because he look good, just because he talking good, you still gonna have to check him out. And over a period of time.
Yeah. Because
like you said, that other one, he was mentally being metamorphosed or whatever you said.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to trial right now for him.
What you going to trial for him for?
Because they caught him.
Oh, when he kidnapping.
Well, it's turned into domestic violence and now possibly attempted murder based upon the photographs and all the proof.
What kind of photographs? He took photos?
Of my face and my body.
Oh, he was beating you up?
Oh, he sliced me. He hit me with hammers and bats and skateboards and 2x4s and kicked me in the face and tied me up zip-tied me. Yeah, they got the marks and the pictures of the zip ties. That's not a question. Like, yeah, he really did that. Yeah.
God.
I got spat on. I got pissed on. I mean, I'm talking about, some really foul things have happened.
With him.
This man is looking to do some time for sure. Absolutely.
And when
To the point where I had to escape. I couldn't walk out of a front door to get out of the situation that I was in with this man.
And where in the hell did you meet him?
A girlfriend of mine introduced us.
You need to find and don't
She's
let nobody
no longer
in.
an associate.
Listen,
We're no longer associated.
That's
with
what
one
people
another.
got problems. They let people introduce them to people. And I'm not saying all of that's bad, but then what about when it go bad? You know what I'm saying? Let me find my own troubles.
Right.
You get that, Buddha? Find your own troubles. Don't, if I'm going to do drugs, let me find my own drugs. Don't you give them to me. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. I ain't looking for none. But I just think people need to be careful when they introduce people. And, and then something don't go right, things don't go right. They got to live with, I introduced them. I didn't know he did all that to you. You just say he kidnapped you. You didn't tell me he tried to beat you to death.
No, he didn't try. He did. He rearranged my face on several occasions. This man has tied me up. This man has had me lay on the floor butt naked and had a knife on the couch, a hammer, a shoehorn, a gun, and a bat. And that's all because I was taking too long to do a pedicure so my toes could be pretty for him. I swear to God.
You were taking too long giving yourself a pedicure.
I was putting some glitter on my toes because I just did my feet so they'd be pretty for him because I'm always at the house. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have much downtime because he was always there. He always wanted me to please him sexually. So any little bit of time that I had, I would just try to do some self-care to keep up with myself because that's what I'm accustomed to. And I was taking too long putting glitter on my toes that morning, and he made me get undressed and lay down butt naked, hands by my side, face to the floor, with a shoehorn, a knife, a gun, a bat, and a hammer on the couch.
We sure do got the wrong sign up, Buddha. It should have been Brown's Neighborhood After Dark. I mean, baby, you need to be thanking God every second. Mm-hmm. You've been on a hell of a roller coaster.
I have.
And be able to talk about it and still be in your right mind.
It's miraculous. It's purely miraculous. It's not luck. It's not by chance, or I'm truly blessed and highly favored.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
If I were you, I'd ought to be crying right now.
It's there. The waterworks is coming, but I'm trying to keep it at bay.
I know you are, because I could see them just as glossy and watery. Yeah, I've seen it a few times, but I know you were strong enough to hold it back. Yeah, but people got to know it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Being on this podcast is real. Coming to Brown's Neighborhood is real. And you're going to get real stuff. Now, if you ain't want real and you want some make-believe, then go on over there to my partner's show, Club Shay Shay. Go on over there to his show, and then they going to give you nothing but everything that sounds good. Over here, it's going to be real talk going over here. But there's success at it. There's at the end of all of that, God done, survived and blessed and brought us through. I'm glad she came and shared part of the story. Because, see, a lot of times people ain't getting the full story. That's when we going to do Brown's Neighborhood After Dark. You know what I'm saying? I got to treat this lady to dinner after all night. I ain't taking her to dinner now. Y'all be like, Brown, what you do? I'm going to buy a dinner. One, just giving her time and giving a real testimony of her life and sharing that with the Brown's Neighborhood podcast. I really appreciate that because most people wouldn't hear this.
Thank you for having me.
Some lady out there going to hear it. They can relate. Yeah. And they might be and mess with some crystal and saying, yeah, that she ain't lying. I gotta leave, I gotta leave it alone, you know what I'm saying? And getting off drugs ain't easy. You need a really good supporting team.
You do, for
sure.
Good
friends.
Absolutely.
Good people. And you gotta be able to stay strong. You need a whole lot of Jesus, I'm gonna tell you. Boy, look at him. Jesus, I just want to say thank you for saving her. You know what I'm saying? And keep her strong, I mean, people want to take advantage of your vulnerability.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If they think you done used it before, they gonna bring it and say, "Come on and let's do it." So don't do that. I thank God. I thank God for the Browns Neighborhood podcast, because a lot of things is being said that people need to hear. And I just thank God for blessing me and blessing my nephew over there. He got to get more of Jesus himself, because he be going through, and he gets his plate is full. I know I'm gonna have to edit all that, but he got his own. We all have our own challenges too, So ain't nobody going without challenges in life. So we all need Jesus, and we want to tell Jesus thank you. I want to say thank you for coming on the Browns Neighborhood podcast, man.
Absolutely.
When you asked me to come on, I said, "What in the heck?" She ain't got no story. Well, it's a story plus some. So
yeah, and my story, all the stuff that I've been through as an adult, all I wanted to do was get married, have a beautiful marriage, and a family. I didn't want all the extra. I just wanted to serve God and serve my husband and raise my children. And I got a whole American Horror Story, just trying to do things, live my life the quote unquote right way, or the Christian way, or whatever way you want to call it. And I didn't get that.
Well, I want to say it's never too late. It's never too late to have a happy ending. Ending where it's joyful, and to be married and be able to see your kids and spend time and be able to give something back to their life. It ain't too late. It just takes a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It takes a lot of work, and you got to be around strong people, positive people, strong people, people that got some good motivation. You know what I'm saying?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, if they ain't for the right thing, then you need to get out of there.
Right.
But it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time, and just staying positive and let God keep working with you.
Absolutely.
As long as you believe in, saying, hey, keep acknowledging Him in all your ways and all of that, you're gonna be all right.
Oh yeah, me and God, we solid. That's my everything right there.
Yeah,
that's
he ain't gonna fail you. That's the main thing.
For sure, he's not gonna do that.
He's not gonna fail you. Never leave you. Never forsake you. So, in all of that being said, until the next time on the Browns Neighborhood podcast, we'll see you then.